There's 4 pillars for us this season, plain and simple. I feel like I'm in a very good position with our ownership, our management, our players. We're in a very healthy place right now. And the 4 pillars for us as we head into the season are compete, number 1. At the top of our board, we're going to compete every single night in practice, on the floor every single night. Number 2 is player development. We have to get better every single day. Our players 1 through 15 have to get better. And I think we have a good example of that from last year. We're only going to take that a further step, and we did this summer, and we head into the season going, player development is number 2 on our board. Compete, develop. And then 3rd is our identity. Who are we on both ends of the floor? And this is where I'm excited as a coach. I get to put my imprint, my stamp on this organization, this team right now, offensively, defensively. So a year from now, we clearly again know who we are. We're clearly defined what we stand for on offense and on defense. We have a full year of player development under our belt. We've competed at the highest level. And then 4th, I'd say our habits, winning habits. Every single day we come into work and we're going to put together habits that we believe are winning habits. And that means don't get tired of the ordinary. I'm going to keep saying this to our guys all season. An attitude to the ordinary. We're going to do the same thing over and over and over again. And after the season, that will define our season. If we hit those 4 things, which I believe we will, it's my job to hold everybody accountable to that.
Welcome into Clipboard Conversations. I'm John Fogy, the Hornets Radio Network, alongside James Borrego, head coach of the Hornets. And Coach, we got a couple different segments here. We're going to be taking some questions from the public through social media, so I hope you're ready for that. We're going to take a look ahead as well to the upcoming week and spotlight one of the games coming up at Spectrum Center. But before we get to that, we kind of introed with your statement from Media Day about the 4 pillars and what you're looking towards building on this season. So as we take a look at training camp and preseason and ahead to this first week, where are we at in terms of laying the foundation for those pillars?
We've had a very good camp, laid the foundation, started first day of camp. I believe our players all know what's expected of them now this season. And we just got to keep hammering those home every single day, no matter after a win, after a loss. We do what we do every single day, stick to our pillars, stick to our foundation. That's really compete. Number 1, compete at the highest level, in practice, in games, in competition. We compete, number 1. Player development, number 2. We need all our players to develop and get better. Some are growing at different paces. Our older vets may not have as much of a ceiling to grow into, but we expect all 15 of our players, 17 with the 2-way guys, to develop and grow. And we're very intentional about that. Areas of growth, on the court, off the court, in the weight room, nutrition. It's all those factors that go into enhancing our players. And then 3rd is just identity. Who are we? Every single day, here's what we're doing. I think we've done a nice job in camp. I felt like I've been a part of camps, and even last year we tried to cover so much. Right now we're sticking to our plan, our principles, not trying to accomplish everything in the first couple weeks, one step at a time, not trying to skip steps, and trying to build this thing the right way. And so I think we've done that on the offensive end, on the defensive end. We've got to continue to hit that every single day, every game, every practice, and keep growing. And then the habits, the 4th pillar of the season is just habits. These winning habits, doing these principles every single day, making sure our guys understand that.
You had a great quote recently where you said it's got to be the resiliency to come back and do the same and work after a loss, the discipline to do that after a win. And I thought that was a quote that really it resonated with me in terms of how you want the guys to approach this season when you talk about hammering home those pillars every single day.
It's got to be, right there for us. We're going to have times in the season where we're up. We have a good win, we have a good quarter, we have a good play. Can we go back and now have the discipline to do it again? And that's what I want for our young guys, especially the young group. They have a good play, they want to relax. Our tendency as human beings when things go well is to relax. And we really got to move on to the next play, have that discipline, the mentality to go, all right, now we're on to the next play, next game, next stop. And when things go poorly, which they will in every team I've been a part of, whether we're winning championships or not, or just trying to make it through 82 games, having the resiliency to get up. After a tough loss, after a tough game, after a bad quarter, we give up a 30-point quarter, We got to respond and have resiliency as a group and individually to bounce back from that. And that's one of the main focuses of the season is discipline and resiliency.
And I think a perfect example of that is that third quarter in Memphis. Give up, I think it was 38 points, turn around and open that fourth quarter. And it was a 16-2 run, and then overall 26-4, and you took control of that. And so there's a great example that you can turn to the guys and say, here's seeing it in practice.
Yeah, exactly. We can't hang our heads. If one thing we cannot do this season is hang our heads. We've got to move on and pull each other together. Everybody stay together this season. And not leave one man on their own. If one player has a bad play, get him up. It's on all of us to build him up, get him ready for the next play. Same thing after a tough game.
I know we've talked about pace and defense in terms of like on the court things that you'll be focusing on, and I think some numbers bear that out through the preseason that we're seeing an uptick in pace when you look at pace this year versus last year, and then your defensive rating as well. And I know it's preseason and we want to couch that, but
right.
You're starting to see some of those things and some trends that I think, hey, this is moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I think so, especially on the defensive end. We become more disruptive, which has been a focus of ours this season. Not being on our heels, being more the aggressor. And I think we've done that with turnovers. Our transition defense has been solid, getting back, setting our defense. We've got to continue to get better in the paint. You know, we've said that from day one this season and going back to last season. We have to be better in the paint. It's a focus of ours, but I'm seeing trends along the way that our guys are understanding what we're trying to do this season. We have become more disruptive on that end. I think the pace is up. I think the pace is in a good place now. It's now, can we do it for 82 games? That's the challenge. You could do it one game. Can you do it over an 82-game segment? And it just has to become a part of who we are. It's got to become a lifestyle more than just a play or a game. It's got to become who we are.
When you talk about the paint, defending the rim, obviously that's part of it, but also not allowing perimeter players to get in there and kick out. That's also part of defending the paint.
That's true, and a lot of that's our player development. Can you individually contain your man one-on-one? We were not great at that last year. Mm-hmm. It was a weakness of ours that when a play broke down or we were in rotation, we just could not stay in front of the ball. And that has been a focus, a drill every single day that we do. Just one-on-one containment, close out, staying in front. And we have to hit that home because once the ball gets to the paint for our group, our team, most times good things don't happen. Now we have to be there, but we want to limit those attacks on the paint, which I think we've seen a better focus there this preseason than last year.
All right, as we wrap up this first segment of sort of the trends here throughout the course of the preseason, there's two players that I want to spotlight that are new to this team. Terry Rozier, 15 points a game during the preseason. He shot 49%. He was nearly 48% from beyond the arc. And coming in, we knew for his career, those were areas in finishing and the three-point shot that you wanted to see those percentages climb. Through 4 preseason games for Terry, I thought his finishing was great, and I love the way he's knocking down those threes.
He's had a very good, efficient preseason so far. I think his shot selection is much better. He is getting to the rim. He's shooting a high percentage there. We have to continue to get him there because he is a good finisher, and it's up to me and our group to space the floor that will help him. And I think it helped our group last year getting to the paint is our spacing, our ball movement. So he's been very efficient at the rim. I want him taking more threes, but good, high-quality threes. And I think that's something he's grown in. He's trying to figure out where those threes are going to come from in our system. He understands that we want both. But his playmaking has been really surprising to me, that he's just been able to quickly pick up hitting the open man, pick and roll reads. He's much more advanced than I expected. And now from here, that should only get better. He should understand our system even more, where his teammates are going to be, on time, on target passing. He's going to have to generate a lot of offense for us. He understands that. But I don't want the pressure to just stop with Terry. Once he makes a read, it's up to the next man to make that play. And a lot of that's just trusting your teammates. And he's had that so far this preseason. He'll have to continue it, tomorrow night and throughout the season. But he's a very unselfish, willing passer, and we're going to need that. And
you love to see the high assists and the low turnovers. I think coaches love to see that.
It's a great number. And we were really good last year. Mm-hmm. I believe we were 3rd or 4th in the NBA in assist to turnover ratio, number 1 in not turning over last year. We may not be number 1 in not turning it over this year. I understand that. but we can't drop, low down there. We're going to have to take care of the ball and not turn it over and give our opponents easy points this season.
And finally, as we wrap up, P.J. Washington. Didn't get a chance to see him during Summer League. He stepped out onto the court in Boston, and he looked like,
he's done this for
like a 10-year vet
years.
here.
Yeah.
How was he so comfortable stepping in, whether it was in the reserve role for the first couple games or as a starter?
Well, I wish I could take the credit for it. It's nothing I did, but look, we found a very good player, and I don't think, I didn't expect him to come in this early and have this type of effect on our team. But I've been happily surprised by this. So this is great for our program, our team, that he's been able to step in quickly and impact our organization, our team, our winning DNA. He just knows how to play. He really, number one thing is PJ understands how to play. He's a very good competitor, has a high motor, plays at a high pace consistently, understands reading, high IQ. Those are great foundational pieces for us to build on. And then the ability to shoot the three ball. I didn't expect that, again, this early. He knew I wanted him to shoot threes early on, but for him to shoot it at this clip this early is a really positive sign. Now we got to go do it in the regular season. I understand that. But so far the trend, he's trending in the right way. And I think this is a really positive start for him. He's a very coachable kid, comes from a coaching background, his father, and I think his mom even, jumped in there and teaching him how to shoot as well. So we're in a good place with PJ, and I'm excited for what the season has for him this year. He's going to grow every single game, every day. So we found a good one.
Certainly seen some good things through the preseason. Those are our trends right here on the Clipboard Conversations. We continue with Clipboard Conversations. John Foky alongside head coach James Borrego. Time for a little segment we're going to call Ask JB. So what we did, we sourced some questions via Twitter. Don't forget, follow the Hornets across all their social media channels. Throughout the week, we'll be asking for your questions and we'll be posing them to JB. So in the first edition, I guess, of Ask JB, we got a number of basketball questions. We got a number maybe off the court questions as well. So we'll start with this first one. The addition of Caleb Martin, can we look forward to seeing both the Martin boys on the court together at some point this season?
Yes, absolutely. Well, they were on the floor together today and yesterday, and I liked what I saw. So not afraid to go there at some point. We didn't expect this to happen this early, but both are putting a lot of pressure on me to get them in the lineup. And I'm just thrilled and happy for both of them. What a great story. And yes, we could see them on the floor together.
All right. What is the solution to reducing turnovers?
Well, I think we're going to have to live with a little bit of those this season. New group, new team, more ball movement. You can't have it all. You can't have ball movement and not turn it over at times. We have a young group. But we're going to just have to stay consistent on watching our numbers, valuing each possession. I think it's a mentality of valuing each possession. We're going to turn it over some. I just don't want the silly turnovers. The ones where we're trying to make a home run play when the simple play was there to make. But we're going to turn it over some this year. We just don't want to, have the one that's leading to wide open stuff going the other way. And we'll do a better job this season. We're on it. Obviously, we have two very young point guards right now that we're going to have to work through. And that's a part of teaching both of them to control the game and not turn it over and make the right play.
So looking for, if it's going to be a turnover, a dead ball turnover would be much more preferred.
I'd rather you punt it out of bounds and throw it, throw it the other way to the team. Pick six, a pick six going the other way. Just punt that thing out of bounds. But again, the spirit of this team needs to be passing the ball, moving the ball. If you're doing that, you're going to have some turnovers as this team starts to catch up and learn each other more and learn the system more. I understand that. But there's going to be a few throughout a game that we just can't live with. I'm going to have to cut down on those ones and make sure that our guys understand those are unacceptable.
All right, more from our Ask JB segment. How about this one? And I'm curious, what was your favorite video game console as a kid?
Nintendo.
The original Nintendo?
The original Nintendo.
Did you have a go-to game, like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Well, Mario Brothers was the classic.
Mario Brothers, yeah. What about Duck Hunt?
Duck Hunt. Isn't that great that they put in, at least you had a second game to play. Like if you had worn out, Mario Brothers for 3 hours, at least you had another game to go to.
That's true. And you never wore it out, right? That's all it took.
That's
and
right.
then you were fine, and then you were good to go.
That's right.
All right, we got time for one.
Tecmo Bowl?
Tecmo Bowl was fantastic.
Tecmo Bowl was a great one.
That was Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
You just pick up Bo Jackson. I remember, run him as far into the backfield, and he would run that far.
Is that right?
Beyond the line of scrimmage.
Wow.
There's your cheat code. There you go.
There you go. Okay, I'm gonna have to use that one.
We'll find you a Nintendo console,
Yes.
and we'll test it out.
They're bringing them back now. They're bringing them back. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's for another segment.
Next week on Ask JB. Stay tuned for that. Okay, final one here. Do you think you'll experiment with a small ball lineup with PJ possibly at the 5?
Yes.
What do you like about that look?
Well, he can guard some 5s in this league, especially where the league is trending. He has the ability to switch out, stay in front of smalls at times. He can post up. He can stretch the floor. I like stretch 5s. Where you got Cody shooting more 3s right now at the 5 spot. So yes, I like PJ. He stretches the floor. He's athletic and he can run. So he fits a small ball lineup.
All right, we thank you for your submissions to Ask JB. Don't forget, follow the Hornets on all their social media channels. We'll be taking your questions each week as we Ask JB right here on Clipboard Conversations. Time for our look ahead here on Clipboard Conversations. John Foky alongside James Borrego. We look ahead a couple of home games here to get this season started. Minnesota on Friday. Karl Anthony Towns, they've got a healthy Robert Covington, Ryan Saunders in his first year as a full-time head coach. When you just think of the Minnesota Timberwolves led by Cat, what kind of jumps out at you?
Well, he's a major problem. I mean, one of the best big men in our game, presents a number of problems for any defense. He can run, he can pick, he can pop, he can shoot the 3, shooting the 3 ball at a very high level right now. I'm assuming this new system, they're looking for the 3 ball heavily and getting to the rim as well. He's a major problem. I mean, if you don't switch his pick and roll, he can pick and pop and really hurt you with the 3. He can drive closeouts and he can post up against guys his size, much less small guys that are going to have to switch onto him. So he's a major problem. We had a very good game here last year against him. We did a very good job just disrupting him, and that's what we're going to have to do this season as well.
As far as Robert Covington, I know he did not play in that meeting late last season, but what he brings as a guy who kind of, you've got some players like that as well that can switch 1 through 5, and you might even see Covington starting at the 4. That's an interesting kind of wrinkle to that team as well.
Interesting lineup, very good defensive lineup. He's able to switch 1 through 4, 3 and D guy. He can really guard. Shoots the 3 ball extremely well and can put it down as well. So I think their offense is going to open up even more this season with Towns at the 5, Covington at the 4. So we're going to have our hands full for sure.
As far as the atmosphere and excitement of getting things rolling here at Spectrum Center, what's your level at right now?
I'm extremely excited. I mean, I'm looking back now at the floor, the arena. It looks beautiful. I know our guys are excited to go. I'm excited to go just to see this group compete, have fun, play together, start our journey together. This is a long season. This is a long journey in our organization and laying this foundation. I feel like this is a new start for us, new direction, new focus, and I'm excited to get it started.
And we should mention for that game on Friday, there will be a special code if you follow the Hornets across all their social media channels. You want to do that. To find that special code, if you want to get tickets.
What does the code get you?
The code gets you tickets to that game on Friday. It's not the Tecmo Bowl code, don't worry. No. it's not anything like that. All right, Coach, thank you so much for joining us here. We're looking forward to doing this all season long. It's Clipboard Conversations right here on Hornets.com.